Have you ever asked a really great question to your class only to be met with, complete and utter silence? Well, today we're going to fix that. We're breaking down the blueprint for turning that quiet into dynamic, student-led discussions.
So let's get right into it. This is a huge challenge for every single educator out there. How do we get our students to stop being just passive listeners and actually become active, engaged participants in their own learning journey? It's a real game changer.
First things first, let's talk about the why. Why are these discussions so darn important? It's because they're one of the most powerful tools you have in your teaching toolbox. And trust me, it's about so much more than just talking. I mean, just look at the sheer range of benefits here. We're not just talking about one skill. This is about building everything from critical thinking to basic engagement. And maybe the most important part, it gives every single student a voice. You're literally turning your classroom into this incredible space for growth. And this right here, this is a crucial point. Classroom discussion isn't some side activity you do when you have extra time. Nope. It's foundational. The ability to speak your ideas out loud, to form an argument, that directly builds the pathways for becoming a stronger reader and writer. It's all connected. Okay, so we all agree on the benefits, right? They're clear. The big question is, how do we actually build a discussion that really works? Because, spoiler alert, it doesn't just happen by magic. It's all about having a smart, intentional design. And you know where it all starts? With the questions you ask. Think about it. A closed question, one that gets a simple yes or no, that's a conversation killer. What we're aiming for are those juicy, open-ended questions that actually require a complex answer. They get students thinking, elaborating. They're the spark that lights the fire. And of course, preparation is absolutely everything. Before you even think about starting, you've got to do the groundwork. You need to know your destination. What are the learning goals here? Then you've got to set the rules of the road. What's our classroom etiquette? Make sure your students have the background knowledge they need to even participate. And then, you guessed it, craft those amazing core questions. So what's your role in all this? Well, you're basically shifting from being a lecturer to being a facilitator. You might kick off the conversation, sure, but the real goal is to step back and let your students take the wheel. Your job is to provide that all-important think time, jump in to guide things if they go off track, and most of all, create a warm, respectful atmosphere where everyone feels safe to share their ideas. All right, we've got the blueprint down. Now for the really fun part. Let's stock up our toolkit with some actual hands-on strategies you can use to bring these discussions to life in your classroom. First up, we've got concentric circles. This one is an absolute classic for getting everybody to talk. Just picture it. You have an inner circle of students facing out and an outer circle facing them. They chat with their partner for a minute, then one circle rotates. Boom! Just like that, everyone is having multiple, quick, one-on-one conversations. It's amazing for building confidence. Next up, the fishbowl. This strategy is perfect for modeling what a really deep, high-level conversation looks like. You have a small group in the middle, the fish, doing the discussing. Everyone else is on the outside, observing, listening, and taking notes. And those observers, they're learning so much about how to build an argument and listen actively just by watching their peers. Now, if you want to get your students up and moving, the gallery walk is your best friend. You put different pictures, texts, or questions up around the room like art in a gallery. Students then walk around in small groups, stopping at each station to discuss. It makes the learning physical and intellectual, and it's a fantastic way to break up the day. And finally, let's not forget about the good old round table. Sometimes the simplest ideas are the most effective. In a small group, students just have a natural, free-flowing conversation. It's super versatile, and it lets students practice building on each other's ideas in a really low-pressure environment. Okay, so that all sounds great for a physical classroom, but how in the world does this all work online? That's a huge question for so many of us these days, so let's get into it. The good news is there are a ton of platforms that can host really vibrant online discussions. You can use anything from Twitter threads to dedicated systems like Google Classroom or whatever learning management system your school uses. Using these tools is great practice for the kind of digital collaboration students are going to need in college and their careers. But, and this is a big but, you can't just throw students into an online forum and hope for the best. Success online needs its own kind of prep work. You have to actually teach them how to use the tech, set really clear rules for online etiquette, keep a close eye on what's being written, and yeah, often you have to assign grades to make sure the participation is thoughtful and accountable. So, at the end of the day, just remember this.
A truly great discussion doesn't happen by accident, but it is absolutely within your reach. With the right design, the right questions, and these strategies in your back pocket, you have the blueprint for success. So the only question left is, what amazing conversation are you going to start tomorrow?